This is the card I'll be showing you how to make today. It's using the Dragonfly Garden stamp set along with the Dragonfly Punch here. So to get started, I used the smooch technique and I used this rectangle Stampin' Up block. It's the block H that we'll be using. Make sure you keep an eye out. I'll be doing another video tutorial on the smooch technique. So keep an eye out on that. Also subscribe to this YouTube channel so that you can be notified next time more content comes out and you don't miss anything fun and exciting. But to get started, we're going to use this size H acrylic block here. And I'm using a 5.5 by 8.5 sheet of shimmery white, and I'm going to fold that in half. And normally I like to use shimmery white when I'm doing the smooch technique. I feel like it usually gives a better result and kind of absorbs the ink a little bit better, and also adds a little extra shimmer, so that's always fun. I also found that it was best if I used and stamped on a faux mat, so grab that. And then also I grabbed a scrap piece of paper so that when we're spritzing, we don't get everything wet. So I used Blushing Bride ink. And with the smooching technique, you're just going to ink up your block like you have a stamp on it and you're inking up your stamp. So just ink up your block really well, like so here. And then I took the Stampin' Mist here, and I just am using an old bottle and I filled it with water. So you can use any spritz bottle, but I'm just going to spritz this all over the place. And for this, I wanted it to have like a really light look. So I stamped it on my scrap paper first, and then I went back and spritzed it a little bit more. And then I will stamp this onto my card front. So I'll stamp down like that. And it gives this really nice, it's kind of hard to see in the camera. The glare is really bad, but it gives this really nice, faint, smooched, kind of splattered look, but it also keeps in this rectangle shape. So it's a really cool artsy look, I feel like. So set this aside. We're gonna let this dry for a second before we stamp our flowers on it in our image. Next, we're going to work on our dragonfly. So grab a scrap piece of shimmery white, and we'll keep with the shimmery white. And I'm using Memento ink here. And we're going to be using the dragonfly, I think is really, really pretty. Now I have a rectangle scrap piece here. I'm going to stamp off to one side so that we have a little bit of cardstock to hold on when we go to punch it. So make sure you leave yourself a little bit of space to hold on when you stick it in the punch there. Now I grabbed the light Seaside Spray Stampin' Blend, and then I also grabbed the dark Daffodil Delight Stampin' Blend also. So the Daffodil Delight, we're just going to go in the center of the dragonfly, right down the center like that. And then the light Seaside Spray, we're going to color in the dragonfly's wings. And I'm not going to do too much shading or anything crazy. I just want it nice and light and subtle. Like so. And then last but not least, I'm going to take some Wink of Stella and just go over the entire dragonfly just to add extra shimmer on top of the shimmery white. Once you finish that, you can grab your dragonfly punch and we'll hold on to it and stick it in there and get it all lined up and just punch that out. Oh. Well, like so. So you should end up with a dragonfly like that, and you can kind of push down the center and close your hand a little bit, and it helps create a nice curved dragonfly wing, and it looks like he's flying. You can also take a dimensional and put it right in the center there, so it'll be all ready to attach when we're ready for it. Next, we're going to work on the greeting. So I just have a scrap piece of vellum here, and I am going to be using Versamark and some black embossing powder, and I grabbed the "Thank you for your kindness" stamp here. I'm going to ink that up like so, and then use some black embossing powder, and then we're going to use the heat tool and go ahead and heat that. And when you're done, we're going to grab one of the stitched scalloped rectangles out of the Stitch So Sweetly dies, and go ahead and we'll run that through the die cutting machine. So you'll grab your platform, so you have number 1, number 2, number 3 will be your plexiglass plate, and then carefully put your vellum and your stamped and embossed image, and then your second plexiglass plate will go on top. So when you're done with that, you'll end up with this really pretty piece to put on your card. So next, I think our cardstock should be dry here. So we're going to lay it down, and then I have this kind of sprig of flowers that came in the Dragonfly stamp set here. Super, super pretty. And we're going to grab the Memento ink here and ink those up really good. And then we will be stamping them kind of a little bit to the right, off-centered the pink rectangle. And once you do that, you should have something that looks like that. Now we're going to bring in some blends and use those to color in. So I'll kind of go over them. There's a handful here. So I have the light and dark Old Olive Stampin' Blends. I have the light and dark Seaside Spray blend, Stampin' Blends, light and dark Daffodil Delight, and then I have dark Rococo Rose and dark Crumb Cake. So I'll briefly kind of color in and kind of show you where I used each of these colors. So the Crumb Cake I did on the top of these flowers here. And then I went back with the dark Daffodil Delight and did the petals. Now I'm not doing a whole lot of like shading in 2 tones just because the images and flowers are so small that it would be kind of challenging to do that. So I'm just using the different shades and different parts of the flowers. So I used the dark Daffodil Delight to do that flower. And then I've used the dark Rococo Rose on all of these little flower sprigs here, all the way down. There's a few of them all around, but I did just kind of like dabbed a little bit on there. And then the dark Seaside Spray, I just went in and colored these flowers down here, down there at the bottom. And then I took the light Daffodil Delight and just went kind of over all of these little buds here. They're kind of all scattered throughout. So that's that. And then for the stems, I took the dark Old Olive and I did these larger leaves here, kind of up at the top and a few down here. And then I took the light Old Olive and took actually the smaller tip, and I just went and colored, kind of used that to go and bring down all the stems and kind of color in all the way down, since it's a little bit lighter, like so. So when you finish and you finish coloring in everything, this should be how the finished product should look once you finish in coloring all your flowers. Also, even though it's shimmery white, I love a little extra shimmer. So I went back over with the Wink of Stella here and just went over all the extra flowers just to add a little extra shimmer because I think it makes it an extra little special there. So next we can start putting together our card. So take your dragonfly that we put the dimensional on the back, and you can take that off. And I just kind of place that up here at the top. And then our greeting, since it's vellum, I was not sure quite how to attach this, but I think if you take a very small amount of Tombow and just put it right on top of your lettering, it kind of hides it and you honestly can't even tell there's any adhesive on it. So we'll put that kind of a little off-centered of the flowers, like so. And then last but not least, I took a little bit of the Forever Greenery trim, the combo pack, and I took the metallic trim here. And I just went around the base of the card, like so. And I'm just going to tie a very loose, sloppy bow. You can do a knot, but I thought a bow would be kind of a little bit more elegant and soft and pretty for this card particular project. So, and it does not have to be perfect at all. So it can be extra big, extra loose, and then you can just take your paper snips, ribbon scissors, and give it a little trim, and there is your finished product and project there. So hope you enjoyed. Make sure you stay tuned. I plan to release another video using the smooch technique. But anyways, hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.